Moving on.
That
Duke
midget
Devlin.
can go to hell.
Duke Devlin.
Okay, I'm awake now. I'm dropping everything.
All right, Crossy, you know what to edit in. Edit in Duke's theme for background music,
And then put
please.
me in the side, just like dancing or something.
I'm gonna get through this little tidbit real quick so we can actually discuss him proper. He owns the Black Clown Game Shop. He created Dungeon Dice Monsters. Practically hero worships Pegasus. Fights with Tristan over the affections of Joey's younger sister Serenity. Accused Yugi of cheating against Pegasus. Challenged Yugi at Dungeon Dice Monsters and eventually lost despite essentially rigging the match in his favor. I mean, I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's true.
It is true.
He rigged the match by not telling Yugi the rules. I mean, granted, he ended up losing, but still. Give the guy some credit, though. He designed his own game pretty much by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This man can rig my game anytime.
So, I actually will gonna say a fun fact about Faust. Not Faust. Fuck, absolutely.
Duke Devlin?
Duke Devlin. Funny enough, he is voiced by the same voice actor who voices Kid Muscle in Ultimate Muscle.
My mother prepared that dinner with all her love. How dare you crush her love into the ground?
Jeez, talk about cheesy.
I'm not too surprised about that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, Duke, I'm gonna be honest, he's not the most, dislikable character. It's just, for most of the series, unless he's, playing a part, he's just there half the time. I mean, given points where it's due, he did help take down one of the big five.
Oh, yeah.
Which, let's be honest, they're a bunch of forgettable Yu-Gi-Oh! Villains. If it weren't for him, he and Serenity would have lost their bodies to the big five. Granted, the sad part is his only real relevance points were literally the Dungeon Dice arc and the Virtual World arc. I mean, yes, Zammy, I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's true. Duke Devlin does not have much, spotlight.
It doesn't matter. He has enough spotlight in my imagination.
I've gotta get in there!
Ay.
He can stare at me with those emerald eyes as long as he wants.
I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here. This shit, I'm out.
Why
You love him so much, why don't you marry him?
I wish I could, Crossy. I wish I could.
I mean, let's be honest, though, he was kind of a dick to Yugi, just because of some, misguided anger. Anyways, I think I've said all I could honestly about Duke Devlin. He's not the worst guy in the world, but certainly not the best. I mean, he constantly is bitching with Tristan over Serenity, who, might I add, is... Well, I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, she's 13 years old.
You're going to jail, asshole!
But yeah, other than him jumping the gun at times, Duke is not, like I said, he's an okay dude. So, anything else y'all want to say? Sammy, I know you want to ride him already.
Neither of you got anything to say?
No, I have nothing to say about Duke.
Grassy?
What about...
Nah, I think Zemmy's overflowing sympathy kind of summed it up.
Let me have your babies. Oh,
Ladies, I appreciate the compliments, but there's plenty of Duke to go around.
Motherfucker.
Duke Devlin, honestly, I actually like Duke Devlin's design of coming up with a new version of gaming and all that, to be honest.
True that. I'll give you that one. Especially, you gotta be honest, his Dark Side Dimension design actually got an improvement.
And I did like his concept idea of doing Dungeon Dice Monsters and all that.
I remember playing it on the Game Boy Advance from borrowing my cousin's Game Boy and playing it. It was actually kind of fun. The only thing that pissed me off was my luck with Movement Crest was absolutely god awful.
Honestly, though, when it comes to Dungeon Dice Monsters, Zammy might get jealous of me as a kid for it. But I actually had a fucking board game of Dungeon Dice Monsters as a kid.
Fuck you.
It basically had the dice, the little board pieces, and the little mini monster figures that both Duke had and Little Yugi had. It had the Silent Magician, the Twin Swordsman, the Electro Ball, Yoranzo, all of it.
Gimme.
It is in the storage. It is old. I could not find it if I could, but it was when I was a kid. I had that shit, and I played the shit out of it more than I did play Yu-Gi-Oh! For a bit. Then I went back to the card game because no one plays the Dungeon Dice Monsters with me.
Again, it's like the game that looks like Duel Monsters.
Uh-huh. So yeah, if
Yep.
nothing else, Duke pioneered a dice game based off of the game that everyone and their mother played in that universe. Honestly, I think that sums up Duke in a nutshell. The last three we have left, Ishizu, Odeon, and let me see here, Kisara. Okay, I'm gonna just sum it up quickly with Ishizu. She's Merrick's older sister. She's in charge of the museum, an expert duelist. She's skilled enough that even Yami Merrick is wary around her. And let's be honest, had it not been for Kaiba screwing the rules, she would have completely destroyed him.
Oh yeah.
She also owned the Millennium Necklace and has an innate ability to predict the future even without using it.
I can see the future.
I know this is completely off topic, but goddamn, I wish I were the rules so Kaiba could screw me.
Go to horny jail.
But yeah, like legitimately, because Shizu may have only had literally one duel on screen. But let's be fair here. Anyone who gives Seto Kaiba a massive run for his money is someone worth respecting. And damn did she ever. I mean, she basically, even with Kaiba basically getting a ridiculous advantage, she only needed one more turn to beat Kaiba. Just one. But Kaiba, again, screwed the rules and summoned his blue eyes, overusing Egyptian God card. She literally almost used his own arrogance against him. But yeah, there you go. That's Ishizu in a nutshell. And again, someone that even Merrick is not sure he can outright beat.
She badass.
I'm trying to think. Ishizu's interesting.
I know she's Hazard's waifu. And
To be fair, I've never tried to hide that.
I predict that you are wet under your pants.
Ishizu's interesting, though sometimes she can be kind of bland.
She's a mysterious character shrouded in mystery, which is just another way of saying she's boring as all get out. I'd hit it.
I blame on the fact that they don't give her like more screen time. Because the sad part is, rivaling Kaiba was not her main purpose. Sadly, it was more because she was supposed to help guide both Seto and the Pharaoh. Because let's be fair, she spent a good chunk of her time trying to convince Kaiba that he needed to help the Pharaoh.
You need to help the Pharaoh.
Gotta take it, Crossy.
Anywho, these are your thoughts on Shizu?
Besides her being bland and not having enough screen time, in her own right, in a way, she can be a badass in a way.
Yeah, had she had more screen time, more development, I imagine she would have been a better character overall. I mean, even I'll admit that she could be a better character, but again, the lack of screen time is really telling.
Yeah.
Because she only appeared for maybe bits and pieces of Battle City, and basically a small part of the Dawn of the Duel arc. Like, she was only there for those parts, and that's just really sad on her end. Not saying it's her fault, it's just the writers could have, given her more screen time. Better development, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, you already said your opinion. Zami, any opinion you have on the Shizu?
I wish I could have that necklace.
Why do you need the necklace?
So I can see you and I in the future, sweetheart. Didn't see that coming, huh?
I think you broke Justin.
I think you broke him.
No, I actually had to think about it for a minute because my brain was putting two together. I couldn't tell if you were just saying that as your normal voice or you were trying to pick me up as a Shizu for some stupid reason.
No!
That's how tired I am for a minute.
You too can see the future.
Oh my God.
And you're talking to a man who voices Bardock, who sees the future 24/7. So I already see the future.
He sees everything.
Yeah, I see everything. And this future I'm seeing, it's glorious because it has you in it.
Aww.
And then they fuck.
God damn it, hon.
Stupid automated teller machine. Kick her up! Next time on the Boondocks, Huey Freeman takes his sorry-ass neighborhood team up against some badass Chinese bitch-ass. It's the kickball game to end all kickball games. Y'all mean? New Boondocks, next Sunday, 11:30, Adult Swim.
Ladies and gentlemen, over the years, Toonami's given you some of the greatest cartoon shows ever made. Now we're proud to present our newest edition, a program about love, honor, sacrifice, revenge, and a whole lot of destruction. Let's get things started. Gundam Fight all set, ready, go!
Take this! My love, my anger, and all of my sorrow! You intend to shoot your own brother? Will never be forgiven!
G Gundam, premiering next Monday at 5. Only Toonami.
Now it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Then it's Codename Kids Next Door. This is Cartoon Network.
Anyway, next one is Odeon. Now, he's an interesting character in his own right, but not for reasons that most people would probably think, in my opinion. Backstory is long and short, he's adopted into the Ishtar family. He was found as a baby in the desert because apparently America and Ishizu's parents were having trouble having children. So they adopted him, if only because they were originally going to make him heir to the family. But then Ishizu was born and Merrick was born a couple years after. So because of that, Odeon got his title of being the heir to the family ripped away from him.
Oops!
But here's the thing, he was so loyal to the family that when Merrick was against the idea of having that fucking Pharaoh's secret carved into his back with a knife, Odeon willingly volunteered to take his place. That's loyalty. And there's 3 specific reasons why he's loyal to the Ishtar family, and more specifically to Merrick. Number 1, Merrick's father saw him as more of a servant than an actual heir, sad as it is. 2, Odeon was always trying to keep Merrick's psychotic tendencies in check. And 3, he made a promise to Merrick's mother that he would take care of his siblings if anything happened to her. So his loyalty goes extremely far. And by the way, the little tattoo on his side of his face, I should tell you this now, that was not a tattoo. He literally carved those into his face.
Himself?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
He literally carved those into the side of his face as a sign of his loyalty to the family. And here's the thing, nobody made him do it. He did it willingly.
Honestly, I find Odeon very interesting as a character, to be honest. Especially how he legit has that thing on his face just to help his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's not really a brother, but I consider him Merrick's
He's
brother.
an adopted brother. Yeah. Like, in all but name, he was an Ishtar. Leave it at that. Well, technically, he's adopted into the family, but still. He was willing to do whatever it took to protect his siblings. He didn't give a damn what it cost him. So
like,
that is loyalty.
He did everything he could to help Merrick and stuff in his special situation.
Like I said, he carved all of that himself. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I could honestly do that. Not because of him, like, you know, being squeamish or anything, just, you have to realize the sheer amount of pain he must have been in. And he did it anyway. He literally did every single marking for hours just to do this. So, yeah.
So, I have to give credit where credit's due for when it comes to Oh, yeah, because...
And remember, he was treated like shit for a good chunk of the time he was part of the Ishtar family.
Yeah, like, he was treated like a fucking bastard child in a way.
And give him credit where it's due as well. He risked... Remember, when Merrick forced him to play the Winged Dragon of Ra as proof that he was, the person he was impersonating, while he had his doubts about it, he still went through with it. And as we all should know, if we've watched the series, there's a price to pay when you use a fake Egyptian god card.
Infidels!
Uh-oh!
Thou hast angered the god of trading cards! Now you will never again see the light of day!
I mean, to be honest, Odeon could have won if Merrick didn't tell him to use the god card. Let's be honest.
Yeah, considering he was kicking the shit out of Joey for almost the entire duel.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, the only reason Joey won that one was literally because he recovered first from Ra's punishment. Give credit where it's due, though. Odeon's loyalty should not be underestimated at all. Your thoughts, guys? Because I've already made my thoughts perfectly clear with what I've said.
All I have to say... Well, I just pretty much agree with what you and Justin pretty much said.
Yeah, like, Odeon is a respectable character.
Oh
He
yeah,
really is.
he really is.
He's definitely a character you have to respect. Especially how that man, after he woke up from a coma, he legitimately made his way back onto the tower, even though he was still recovering, just to help save his master Merrick.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't show loyalty and close friendship, I don't know what will.
That's family right there. That's not just friendship. That's family. Plain and simple.
Oh yeah.
Y'all covered pretty much everything. Like, who wouldn't want this guy as a fucking friend?
I agree with what they said.
And keep in mind that Odeon did all this because of a promise he made. Okay, Shoddy. Okay, so Shoddy, the original wielder of the Millennium Key, he was killed roughly 5 years before the series started by Yami Bakura. He owns both the key and the scales, guards ancient Egypt's tombs, and he occasionally appears to warn Yugi of potential danger, and was technically responsible for Pegasus recreating the Shadow Games in the form of duel monsters. Oh, and technically he was a ghost for pretty much the entire series since, Yami Bakura murdered him. So yeah.
Shoddy.
Go ahead.
Honestly, all I gotta really say about Shoddy is he's a very interesting person.
Technically dead person.
Okay, come on now.
I know, I'm just saying.
I know. But he's an interesting character and stuff for a dead person. Shoddy is a very interesting character in his own regards. He definitely shows some characteristics that I didn't expect to see, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because with his first appearance at the Duelist Kingdom arc and stuff, I was kind of not impressed until I learned a little more about him as I seen him more, and especially in the Dark Side of Dimensions movie.
And if you look at season 0, he was a little more vindictive. But
Very
honestly,
vindictive.
he's not a bad character at all. I wish they kind of expanded on him a little bit more, but you know what? You take what you can get in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at least he literally lives to his word on what he wants to do. So there's that. He's an extremely, I guess you want to say, truthful but mysterious person. That's the best I can say about him.
You aren't too far from the truth on that one, Hazard.
Zammy, Crossy, your thoughts, if any? I mean,
Crossy, you have to say something about Shoddy because he literally saved your boy toy. Agami.
Mm-hmm.
I know. He's a good character. He's a good plot device. And if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have all this huge plot throughout the anime.
Let's be fair.
Yeah.
He did play a major role in all of this.
He may have been a
background. He may have been a background character, but he did play a huge role if you look at it like from the big picture kind of perspective.
Oh yeah.
So he's one of those big background characters more than anything.
Did I wrap up the notable characters, hun? Because
we only have one more, actually. Just one, and that's it's a 2-for-1 actually. Priest Seto and Kisara, since they both tie in together. Okay, so Priest Seto, basically he was a royal priest. He was, unknown to him, he was also the pharaoh's cousin. He had a short-lived relationship with Kisara, who was the owner of the Blue Eyes White Dragon spirits, and was manipulated by his own father to rebelling against the pharaoh. They were originally going to give him a big arc about his betrayal of the pharaoh's court, because he did it out of revenge for Kisara. But because of time constraints, Kazuki Takahashi had to skip over that particular plot point. He was also the original owner of the Millennium Rod, and ironically became the pharaoh of Egypt after his father's attempts to hijack the kingdom backfired. As for Kisara, she owned the Blue Eyes White Dragon Spirit. She was a slave girl and was forced to sacrifice her life to save Seto. And believe it or not, she was also the one thing that kept Priest Seto's moral compass in check. So she was literally the very reason he basically didn't go completely off the deep end like his father. So your thoughts on Seto and Kisara?
I kind of like this. I like this Seto better because he's much more caring.
To be fair, you can't blame him.
I know.
Guys, remember when I mentioned that Kaiba's obsession with Blue Eyes ran deeper than one thought?
Yeah.
This is what I meant.
In fact, Kazuki Takahashi actually confirmed this. And when you think about it, Seto Kasara's relationship could have gone much further had, things not played out the way they did.
Oh yeah.
They would have had babies.
Possibly. And to be honest, remember, one of the reasons Kisara was treated so badly by most of Egypt was literally because of her looks. Because when you look at the Egyptians in ancient Egypt and Yu-Gi-Oh, they were basically tan-skinned and dark-haired for the most part. But when you look at Kisara and she looks so completely different from them, she was like they accused her of being, an evil foreigner, and they treated her really badly. And the sad part is, Priest Seto is one of the few people who actually cared about her and, protected her. So their relationship, again, she was. And here's the thing: with all the shit she dealt with, I'm surprised she didn't go evil. That's to be honest.
Honestly, I don't got much to say, but they are very interesting, both of them.
Oh yeah, they are.
And as for Priest Seto, I imagine if it weren't for her, if it weren't for Kisara, let's be honest, Seto would have probably been, I'm gonna be honest, probably an even bigger asshole than Seto Kaiba himself. For all we know, Zor could have made like Priest Seto his puppet. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but that's a very distinct possibility.
I mean, it makes sense. All this makes sense.
I mean, I think we can all agree that, for better or worse, this was definitely one of those relationships that should have seen a better ending than what we got. If only because Priest Seto could have easily gone very, very far character-wise. Hell, I mean, yeah, he ruled Egypt in the Pharaoh in Atem's place after Atem's death, but he could have gone. There could have been much more to it. Like, sadly, we don't get to see what happens, after the fact. All we know is that he ruled Egypt and protected it for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine it must have taken a toll on him emotionally, because without the worst case scenario is Kisara's death had a much worse effect than we could have possibly figured. But that's more character analysis than anything else.
Yep.
Welcome to the world-famous School of Lucha. Remember, no biting, no kicking, no gum chewing, and
No bouncing in the halls!
Lucha!
Bring it on!
A brand new series this Saturday at 10:30, 9:30 Central and Pacific on Kids WB.
Deep in the drifting sands of Egypt, an ancient enemy is awakened.
It's called Anubis, the Egyptian lord of the dead.
Yugi's alter ego holds the key to victory.
I will not let your evil plan come to pass.
But can he rely on the Pharaoh one more time? Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie. Saturday night at 7:30.
Let's duel!
It's duel or die. Only Toonami.
Now it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Then it's Codename Kids Next Door. This is Cartoon Network.
So I think we talked about all the characters we need to talk about.
Pretty much. Any
Yeah.
favorite
Alright,
arcs or whatever? Because there's a lot of episodes to go through as is.
Well, yeah, I got plenty of questions to ask for all of us. So basically, all I had to ask is, first question, out of all the arcs we have, what is everyone's favorite? And it doesn't matter if we're all the same. I'm just curious.
Waking the Dragons for me. Waking the Dragons and Battle City.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have to agree with Crossy on that. Mostly those two arcs, because that's where a lot of the character development really exploded for me. Especially with certain duels, like particular. With Battle City, it would have to be when Yugi had to face off against Joey. That was one hell of a duel, let's be honest. I have to point out how in Waking the Dragons, it had to be when Kaiba basically was forced to become a better person throughout the arc, whether he wanted to admit it or not.
Yeah, I have to agree with those
Yeah.
statements a lot. They showed a lot of things. Battle City and Awakening the Dragons had a lot of connections together in a way, and it was very interesting to watch them both.
And Zami, what would be your favorite, I guess you want to say, arc?
Battle City.
That's fair. That is fair. I mean, I think a lot of us have Battle City as a favorite.
Yeah, the only one I want to add to the favorites is I like Battle City Wicked Dragons, but I also like the Ceremony one too.
That is a
I
good
don't
one.
blame you. That's a good one. That's a very good one, so I can't fault you on that. If I had to pick favorite characters, hard to say. Like, okay, before we even go to characters?
Well, hang on. Let me ask the questions first, asshole. That's my
I
job.
know. I said, yeah, but then wait a second. I'm overstepping a bit.
Yeah. So, we can include the non-canon ones if we want to, but anyone's least favorite arc?
I'm gonna be honest, and don't hold this against me, but Duelist Kingdom, because I felt like they could have fleshed out the characters better. Don't get me wrong, I like Duelist Kingdom for what it was supposed to set up, but at the same time, I didn't care for it with mostly because of certain like characters or episodes. Like for example, Bandit Keith, he's an asshole. But I also didn't care for the Virtual World arc because of mainly one particular reason, and it's not even Noah Kaiba, surprisingly. It's Gozaburo. Like, Gozaburo Kaiba is just an asshole. Plain and simple. He had no redemption whatsoever. Not even an attempt at redemption.
Yeah.
At least they tried to redeem him. But Gozaburo, he was just an awful person. That's why I don't care for that arc. Like, granted, like, it's a filler arc, but I felt like it was kind of a waste of time because clearly we can see where it's headed. But at the same time, it's like, for the longest time, Noah gave me the worst first impression, and he barely redeemed himself at all in my book by the time it ended. That's just how I see it.
But, all right, guys, what about you guys? Least favorite arcs?
God, the Noah arc.
The Virtual World arc.
Honestly, I'm gonna say this because no one's really brought this up. The first virtual reality arc where they had to face the
Big five.
No, the 5-headed dragon thing.
Yeah, that was essentially the Big Five.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I forgot they existed.
I was thinking of the Big Five and Noah's arc thing.
They're the same guys, actually.
Oh, yeah, but I'm talking. Yeah, but the other virtual reality thing where.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. They were just there. Like, I'm gonna be honest, they were just there. It was kind of embarrassing to watch with them. I mean, I was gonna originally say the Korean One Grand Prix arc with Siegfried, and I'm like, Siegfried's just honestly more forgettable than anything else. He's just a sad excuse of a villain.
Yes, and he has this little accent. Would you like some schnitzel or wieners or wieners on my leader?
I'm going just stop it.
Oh God, Crossy, no.
Anywho, like honestly, I felt like it was a waste of time.
Legs.
I felt like it was a waste. Like Siegfried was just a waste of time more than anything else. That's why I didn't really particularly care about him. But yeah, those are my honest opinions. I just did not care for the Virtual World arc, mainly because of how little redemption value it had, in my honest opinion. Zami, you already said yours, so I think we can all agree the Virtual World arc was just not one anyone cared for.
It was a nice concept, but
poorly executed at worst.
So next question, everyone's favorite character?
Okay, there's two I have favorites of. Just two in this case. Favorite characters overall has to be Seto Kaiba.
Fuck yeah.
And also, I'm gonna be straight up honest with this one. Joey Wheeler to an extent, but here's why. The reason I actually like those two. Joey reminds me a bit of how I was when I was a kid, so you can't really fault me on thinking this. Cause let's be honest, Joey was basically treated like the bad guy half the time just because of the situation he was stuck with, and he had a strong sense of responsibility, even though he didn't act like it. You can't blame him for that. As for Seto Kaiba, you can't deny that he survived and he basically thrived throughout all the shit he dealt with.
Mm-hmm. It's like the words "I lived, bitch" had a new meaning.
Pretty much. Yeah, he screwed the rules when he felt like it, but you know what? It's called take control of your fucking life. There, I said it.
My favorites have to be Atem and Joey. Atem mostly because season 4, because like he had this like whole character arc of like self-discovery, because after that duel with Raphael, he had this whole emo act because he lost Yugi.
Actually, I had to list one more character, and this was a hard choice to make. It was between Ishizu and Odeon. You can't blame me for this one because they both have a lot of potential. Odeon even more so because remember what I said about his loyalty. You cannot deny that. That's one of the reasons why he's one of my favorites right there. So yeah, Odeon's definitely another one I put on my list. You guys have your favorites. Go ahead and take your pick.
I honestly, one of them actually, I do enjoy Yami Bakura, because as much of an evil asshole he is, he's actually a good villain. If we're gonna be honest, along with another favorite, which is Yami Mare, because they're both good villains in their own ways. If we're gonna be completely honest, you know what I mean?
You have no argument for me on that one.
Even though they have this psychoticness and stuff, most times when it comes to certain villains, there's always the villains you see is either the brute force type or the evil genius type, or one of my personal favorites, the psychotic evil bastards. You know what I mean? That
Again, you
ain't
have no
afraid to
complaints from me on
murder.
that one. Like, you have literally no complaints from me on that one. I can honestly see where you come from with that, if I'll be completely honest. Like I said, with Yami Bakura, I see where you're coming from with that. While I don't particularly have him as a favorite character, I see where you're getting at. Like it or not, Yami Bakura is an effective villain. All right, so ladies,
Also oh wait, I just want to say for protagonist type, I do like I would do like Yami Yugi and Kaiba because they're both skilled duelists.
Fair point. Zammy, your favorites?
Oh my god, if it isn't painfully fucking obvious.
I know Kaiba's one of them, and so is Duke Devlin.
Yeah.
Any others?
Yeah,
like any others at all?
Fucking Kaiba and Duke. Oh god.
I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, Duke has potential as a character.
I had another character, but fuck, it left my mind because
Who is
you
it?
mentioned. I forgot.
Odeon?
I forgot.
Yami Merrick?
No.
I think
he's favorite villain though, along with Pegasus. I mean, fucking yeah.
Pegasus. I can see why. Pegasus is one of those villains you would never expect to be a villain. I'll give you that one.
So yeah, Pegasus, and then Merrick for villains. Kaiba and Duke Devlin for favorites. For, like heroes or whatever.
Okay.
But I'll get back to you on that third one if I remember him.
Okay, can you describe him?
I legit straight out of Compton forgot.
Well, do you remember what he looks like or what deck he used?
I forgot.
You disappoint me.
All right.
I know, I disappoint everyone.
Well, no, you don't disappoint everyone. Trust me.
Anyways, Mizuki.
I
already know Bakura's one of them, woman.
have too many favorites.
Well, if you can pick a few.
You can pick a few and list your reasoning. We'll try and get behind it.
As Hazard mentioned, I do like Yami Bakura.
He's one hell of a villain.
I hate picking favorites.
I know, but it's part of the questionnaire.
I know. For Protag, Yugi, Tim, and Kaiba. Fuck, I can't think. I don't think I have any other. Do I have any other villains from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! It's fun. I don't think I do. Just Yami Bakura.
That's fair. He's a really well-written villain. He has his motivation to be. You can't deny his motivation as a villain. I mean.
Okay, that's it for mine then.
All right, and Justin, you already listed yours. Hun, you already listed yours.
Zemi said hers.
Yeah. Okay. Any least favorite?
Odeon. Sorry, I'm stupid.
That's
Odeon.
fine. That's fine.
Oh, Odeon.
That's fair. I don't blame you. I already listed him as a favorite of mine. Can't deny that that man has been through a lot.
Yeah.
And he'd probably do it all over again if you asked him.
It just came back to me out of nowhere. Oh shit, okay. Odeon.
Okay. All right. So least favorite, like we already listed least favorite arcs. So.
But
least favorite characters.
Yeah, least favorite characters.
Yami Merc.
Excuse me.
Okay, I feel like me and Hazard might agree with this one on least favorite characters. Gozaboro.
Yeah,
Gozaboro
fuck
can
him.
go
Okay,
eat butt
Yummy
checks.
Bear. Okay, along with Yummy Bear, Gozaboro as well. I
Gozaboro's
know
a
Sammy's
fucking
probably wanting to
asshole.
strangle me right now for
I
saying
also-
Yummy Bear.
Also, I honestly don't like Zork, especially design-wise.
He has a rather large dragon penis.
Seriously?
I mean, we get it. He has a dragon for a penis.
Yeah, that was bothering me. And
yeah, but that's what happens. We have a fever dream, apparently. And no, I'm not kidding. It was literally a result of a fever dream.
You smoked all of it, didn't you? I mean, what are you talking about? There are tons of people here.
You smoked all of it! There's no one here!
that's all I can think about least favorites for now.
Han, your least favorites?
Kaiba.
Reason being.
Can you repeat that?
I think Sammy is wanting to kill both me and Crossy right now.
I'm not gonna repeat it. It's
Han,
just Kaiba,
your
that's it.
reasoning, please, before Zambi 6 or Cyber Dragons on you.
He fucking hates magicians. I hate him.
Oh my lord.
That is so petty. You are so petty.
Petty as I may be, he sucks. Man.
Wow.
You suck.
And
Literally.
you follow.
Oh no, baby. I don't swallow. I
Moving
fucking
on.
guzzle and choke.
Okay. Moving on.
Swallow.
Any other characters you don't like at all?
Rex and Weevil.
Weevil? Yeah, I also forgot he
and
existed.
Weevil.
I can't stand it for one particular reason.
Rex and
What do you
Weevil.
think triggered the Berserker Yugi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an asshole for what he did. Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
You can't change my mind on that either. Like, he is that asshole.
Sammy, got any least favorite characters?
Gozaboro can go eat butt checks.
There we go.
Gross.
You have dared to knock on the door. Now, the door is open. It all begins very soon.
Four cowboys, four bounty hunters, four hearts, four notes. Following a dusty trail of money, sin, and desperation. Living day to day, dreaming hour by hour. One ship, one crew, one destiny. Cowboy Bebop.
So I think it's time for some surprise questions that I haven't even told Hazard about.
Oh dear.
All right. So we can only probably pick one or a few of these because this is going to be a really tough question. What is everyone's favorite duel?
Oh, I hate you for that question, fucking
I got
bitch.
mine. I got mine.
All right, Zemi, since you got yours, you go first.
Remember the twins and they were up in the tower and Yugi and Kaiba had to fight them together? I love that one.
Oh, the tag duel.
Yes!
Umbra? Okay,
duel,
I can't
yeah.
blame you for that one.
I
that
love
was
that
a
one.
good duel. That was a good duel.
Okay, this one's a tough call to make and with good reason, because it's a toss-up for me between the ceremonial duel, the Joey versus Valen duel, because that was really good, despite the ridiculousness.
This hand of mine glows with an awesome power! Its burning grip tells me to defeat you! Take this! My love, my anger, and all of my sorrow! Shining Finger Sword!
Like, in my opinion, that was a good duel. And I also have to point out the duel with the duel between Darts and versus Kaiba and Yugi, because those were all pretty well written duels, despite the sheer ridiculousness of those duels. Like, let's be fair here. Well, that and one other I just remembered, the duel between Yugi and Kaiba at Battle City.
That is a good one.
Those are really hard choices to make, but if I absolutely had to pick one, it had to be. Again, I'd have to narrow it down even further to literally Valen versus Joey and Kaiba versus Yugi at Battle City. Because those were very well written. And it showed their rivalry to the utmost extreme in both cases. Say what you will about either one, but they really showed their rivalry to the fullest.
All right. Crossy, Mizu, do you have one?
I technically have two.
All right, let's hear it.
The ceremonial duel, and then when Yugi has to duel Yami Bakura.
Understandable given the circumstances.
Crossy, what about you?
I kind of like the duel between Yugi and Joey in Duelist Kingdom and Yugi and Joey in Battle City.
Honestly, I have to agree with you on the Battle City one and the Duelist Kingdom.
Battle City one made me cry.
Honestly, if I had to say one of my favorite duels, I personally enjoyed this. It was definitely the Yugi versus Raphael. Definitely the second one, though.
Understandable. That was a heavy duel.
Yeah, it really got intense, especially near the end when Raphael's dark side showed, which you didn't think you would expect.
I didn't expect them to go completely fucking ape shit.
I have a few others. I did enjoy the Joey versus Merrick duel. It was so good. I was just like, I would have given it a better score, but it's just the ending was just so disappointing. It hurt me. You know what I mean? I didn't really. I'm not saying I hate the ending of it or anything because it ended how I should have expected it, but I just would have. I would have been so happy if Joey won that duel. You know what I mean?
He deserved better. Plain and simple.
Yeah, he really deserved that win.
Because he went through hell and back 3 times over throughout Battle City, and for what? Like the fuck?
He worked so hard to get where he was, and just that just kind of killed him. You know what I mean?
That was a kick in the dick.
Yeah. I still love the fight. It was a great duel on both sides, nonetheless. All right. So everyone's got that out of the way. So you ready for the next tough question? And y'all can only pick one.
Wait, did Sammy put her favorites or?
I think she did.
Yeah, she did.
What?
Okay.
You already put your favorite duels up, right, hon?
Yeah, the twins and the tower and
yeah. Okay, I'll try to remember.
Okay. So I got one more. I got another toughie, and you can only pick one for this one. Okay?
Oh, I hate you already. I can already tell I'm gonna hate you for this one.
What is everyone's favorite Yu-Gi-Oh monster that appeared in the series?
Oh, you
Dark
fucking
Magician.
bitch!
I'm picking Dark Magician.
Dark Magician girl.
Zammy.
Fuck you.
Yeah, pick one, baby.
Fuck you.
If I have to be completely honest, Buster Blader.
Honestly, mine is Dark Paladin. So you're on. I was with.
Like I don't know why, but I like Buster Blader's
split.
I like Buster Blader's design actually better than Dark Paladin's, but only by a little bit.
Yeah, to be honest, I was tossed between Dark Paladin and Buster Blader, but given how you said Dark Paladin, I just went with Buster Blader. I kind of went with Dark Paladin, but
I got like fucking 5 of that.
Well, if you had to choose between two, let me ask, if you had to choose between two?
Obelisk the Tormentor and Blue Eyes White Dragon.
I fucking knew it.
Yeah,
Buster Blader, eat that fucking thing.
All right. So I think that covers up the surprise questions I had and stuff. I think we could probably start wrapping things up. Unless. All right. So
any least favorite duels before we end? Because I have only one I don't care for.
Honestly, I don't think I have any.
Probably the ones with Rex and Weevil in them.
My least favorite one. Toss up between, and in all honesty, the first duel between Yugi and Pegasus.
Also, I also hated the battle with Bandicoot in them.
Yeah, those are the ones I didn't care for. Because they were just a waste of time more than anything else to me. But the reason I don't care for Yugi versus Pegasus was the first one was literally because Yugi got robbed on a technicality. I know he wasn't supposed to win and all that shit, and he's not my favorite character, but I have to point this out. He literally lost because of a technicality.
I mean, you aren't wrong.
It was a timed duel.
Anyone else want to say something before I start wrapping things up?
Gozaburo can go eat butt checks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
You ain't got no complaints from me on that one.
All right. So I think it's time to do the next part. So we're basically gonna go around, and everyone's gonna rate this show from a scale of 1 to 10. So let's go ahead and start with our guest. So Mizu, if you had to rate this show series and all that from a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
Maybe like a 7.
A 7. All right.
Yeah.
Any specific reasons or nah?
Nah. I would have said a 10, but considering some things that contribute to that a little bit, just 7.
That is completely fair. Hazard.
I'm gonna be honest, and this was a tough call to make, but I'm rating this an 8 out of 10 only because because of the sheer potential it had. If you add in the context from both the subversion and season 0, there's clearly a lot of room for expansion had, Takahashi had more time to expand on it story-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the only thing that really holds it back was the lack of expansion in a few areas. That's my honest opinion. Like, especially with the arc between Priest Seto and Kisara, because of the whole longer planning for that arc, and the in-depth characterization for Priest Seto, that's why I say there could have easily been more to work off of. But I'm giving it a tentative 7.5 to 8 out of 10 because of this. Other than that, I don't have too many complaints about the series. I mean, a little fun fact before I forget: with what you see with the rules of duel monsters in the anime, from Duelist King all the way up to Duelist Kingdom, this was because around that time the card game rules had not been actually established. They didn't establish the rules until Battle City. So up till roughly a third way into Battle City, that's when the rules were actually, properly established.
Crossy, what about you?
I give it a 7 out of 10, or an 8 out of 10.
Any reasons or nah? Or mostly similar to Hazards?
Similar to Hazards.
Fair.
Zambi,
again, what about
room
you?
for growth. That's all I can say.
8 out of 10. Some characters could have had more expansion, especially the Kisara and Priest Seto shit. I would have really loved to see that if only the author had more time.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, but they could have expanded a little more on Joey's story a bit, because we got to see plenty of Kaiba and Yugi's, but we barely compared to them, we don't really see much on Joey.
There are some characters that need to work. So if I have to be honest, to me it's a 7 out of 10 because like you guys, there is so much things that could be worked on and things. Like I'm not saying it was there was great moments and everything, but there was some stuff that could be more filled in a way, I guess, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And maybe I don't know, maybe it's just biased opinion to me, but maybe the filler arcs could be a tad better if they were gonna go for filler stuff, because I know it's unavoidable. Anime is gonna have that filler type arc stuff. You know what I mean?
I will give them points for characterization. That's why I didn't give it a lower score. The characterization was pretty good in a lot of places. Like Pegasus, he's supposed to be this eccentric flamboyant person, for example. So that's why I like the characterization. So I don't have any major complaints about that. It's just certain characters we could have done without long term, like Weevil and Rex.
Yeah, it's really a toss up between 7 or 8. So I might have changed it to 7.5, but I'm not too sure. It's just one of those things I'm not too sure. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I gave it a tentative 8, literally because there's room for growth. That's why.
Yeah, it's not perfect. It's a great series, but it's not perfect. So I believe this leaves off to
it does set the standard pretty high. So there's that.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of standard, I think it's time to ask our final question of this thing. Does it still hold up? Basically, when I asked this question, when it first came out, and you have to ask yourself, does it still hold up for today for so long? And honestly, I think I could say for all of us, yeah, it really does. It still holds up, even back then to 2021. It really still holds up to this day.
I actually remember us watching it together, when we first started to get together. It's like, Jesus, this shit's so old and it still holds up.
Yeah, we started watching 5Ds, and then we just randomly started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! And at the Battle City arc parts, and we just literally just started to go right in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it holds up because the animation, the dueling, the voice acting, and it still holds up. And it's got an interesting story parts to it as well, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Like, I can't really say I have too many complaints when it came to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it really just went in on certain parts, especially with the duels. You know what I mean?
Especially with certain like plot critical ones too. But like here's the thing, when we come back to favorite duels, which I hate you for that question by the way. I wanted to pick the ceremonial duel, but I'm like, no, but then I had to stop and think about it. But then I had to stop and think, wait a second, but what about, you know, the sheer intensity? Because don't get me wrong, the ceremonial duel is intense as fuck.
Oh yes, absolutely. Because no one really knew who was gonna win there.
I mean, that's the thing, though. It was kind of predictable how it would end between Yugi and the Pharaoh at the end, but when it came to Kaiba versus Yugi at Battle City, you only had maybe a guarantee, like maybe an educated guess who'd win. I mean, for all we know, plot twist, it could have been Kaiba winning and going up against Merrick or Joey in the finals. Because, again, the sheer intensity, it got to the point where even the God cards wasn't enough to satisfy their rivalry.
I think that's a good wrapping point. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Retro Warriors. And we'd like to thank our special guest Mizu for joining us.
Yes,
No
one Mizuki Ravendale.
Yes, be sure to subscribe to Mizuki Ravendale. We'll leave a link to her channel in the description. And is there anything you want us to say?
Well, pretty much if you guys do go check out my channel, it's not obligatory to, but if you do, you'll mostly see that I do character voices, and I'm doing 3 Let's Plays right now. And also kind of started a series on suggestion of my boyfriend, which is the Chibi Foxy Flip, that people are really starting to like a lot.
Chibi Foxy Foof, the bringer of death.
I eat the bringer of death.
Yeah, and also
So,
a
yeah.
royal tsundere at times.
No,
He's very adorable about it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is the Retro Goddess, I guess. Signing out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'm sorry for my over excessive thirst.
No, you're not.
Okay, maybe I'm not sorry, but
And this has been your favorite and lovely wild card. I hope you guys enjoyed this little review, even though it's gonna be lengthy as fuck. But
Honestly,
I'll try to find
just put
some
it to
way
like
around it.
half-hour chunks. We'll still have a fuck ton of content left.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah. See you guys soon.
This is Hazard of Chaos, sarcastic researcher and chaotic artist, and if you annoy me, I will end your sorry existence. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this review. We had fun with this. Hopefully you did as well, and hopefully you're a little more enlightened on this series. Not much else to say beyond that, but don't just take our word for it. Go ahead, check it out whenever, if you feel like it.
Real quick, don't worry, guys. We're still trying to find his lab.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment. This is your retro leader of this whole team and things. And we hope you enjoyed. And leave comments down below if you want to answer any of the questions I asked earlier. And tell us what you guys think of Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff. And we shall see you all next time for Retro Warriors. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Later, peeps.
Sayonara.
Alonze.
It was supposed to be a game, but once I solved the Millennium Puzzle, everything changed. An ancient magic brought this game and its monsters to life. But now, do I control the magic, or does the magic control me?
Yu-Gi-Oh! Premieres Saturday, September 15th on Kids WB.
Excuse me, everyone, I have a brief announcement to make. Jesus was black, Ronald Reagan was the devil, and the government is lying about 9/11. Thank you for your time, and good night.
For the next time on Retro Warriors.